Hi, this is Gregory Possiman coming to you from Todd, North Carolina, and this is the monthly message for November of 2020. I would like to first express my gratitude to all of you who have shown your concern for the political state of affairs in our country regarding our election. That is an ongoing process, and when you watch this, the results may have already been revealed, but it is interesting, and I believe at the moment it is a hope for optimism. And the next webinar that we are going to do will be on Saturday, December 5th of 2020, so there will be no webinar in November. And that comes as a result of some guidance I've received from the other side. So though I had planned on doing a webinar in November, I'm told that we should wait until December 5th. And so, of course, we will do that. I want to also thank all of you for your well wishes for Sandy, who recently underwent some minor facial surgery that was intended to assist her vision, and that has in fact happened, and so that's great, and she has recovered and she is well. So without further ado, I will be channeling the Ancient of Days, and I believe you are going to hear some rather interesting information about some predictions for the year 2021. So here we go. We are the one who is called the Ancient of Days, and we greet you. Especially we greet you regarding what is called the Divine Blueprint, and what many have called the plan for the planet Earth, for the race of Homo sapiens or human beings, and for what you refer to as your future. As we look into the probabilities for the year of 2021, we see after what you would call the 1st of March, a process of unification taking place, not only in the United States, but also in the world. A number of countries will come together as a result of a perceived common enemy, so to speak. And that common enemy will not be human, it will not be extraterrestrial, it will be the continued aspect of health, the aspect of disease, and what you have come to call the pandemic. It is to understand that as a result of a certain amount of evolution of the strain of virus, there will be another round, so to speak, of this process taking place. However, this time, humanity will decide that it is wisest to unite. And this aspect of unity will be a most powerful one. Many will come together regardless of their country, regardless of their race, regardless of their religion, and regardless of their culture. And they will band together in order to find solutions to this additional threat, if you will, to humanity. It is important also to note that from our perspective, there will be an opportunity for the United States to have its first female president. We cannot tell you exactly when this will happen. It will not take place as a result of any kind of violent issue. But we predict at this point in time that the sitting president will in fact not be able to perform his entire term of office, and that the female vice president will in fact take over. This will not take place immediately, and there is no cause for alarm or concern. It is indeed in the perfect flow of events, so to speak, and we believe that this will take place perhaps within about 2 to 3 years' time. That will depend entirely upon the health of the president who is sitting in the White House. And speaking of that, there will be a fair amount of disruption between now and the inauguration of the next president of the United States. That is nothing that is particularly surprising based upon events that have taken place in the last 4 years. We will say that the current president, the one called Trump, has done his job and done it well. The division that has taken place in the United States and even in the world has been what one might call a cry out, a kind of alarm, if you will. And that alarm has been heard. There are a great number amongst you, those who are spiritual and even some who are not, who are ready for a kind of unification, a kind of unity on the planet. And we predict that within the next 3 years' time, great concern for the earth, for the planet Earth, for your ecology and your ecosystems will begin to arise once more. And this will not just be lip service. There will be a considerable number of regulations, principles, laws perhaps, that will be passed in order to assist the earth in its continual healing. We believe that this will become what you might call a priority amongst you, and that priority will become quite important. We would also predict that there will be 5 major storms, perhaps hurricanes, perhaps tropical depressions, and they will take place in the year 2021. We believe that this, again, is the process of the earth cleansing itself, and at least one of these storms will be major in its, how shall we say, influence, its impact. And we believe it will be primarily an island or two in the Caribbean that are affected the most. And eventually, said storm will find its way to the North American peninsula. It will do considerable damage to the country called Mexico, and it will also affect the southeastern United States in a most serious way. This will, however, be another opportunity for humanity to unite, to come together in service to all of those who are affected. We urge you, those of you in those areas that we have mentioned, to pay close attention to your weather. Modern technology upon your planet gives you plenty of fair warning. Do not ignore that warning. It is very important. Again, we predict 5 of these major storms to take place. One of them will take place in Asia, and the other 4, we believe, will most affect the Caribbean and the North American peninsula. And the one, to reiterate, will be quite powerful, somewhat destructive, not so much in terms of loss of human life, but in terms of property damage. There will be a considerable amount of rebuilding that will need to take place as a result of this process. Returning back to what you might call the political forefront or future, we would estimate that by the end of July, perhaps August of 2021, you will see a great unification. You will see unity once again on the political forefront, and the division that has taken place in a number of countries will begin to subside. It is our belief that the changes that had been predicted for 2020 will have taken hold by that period, the end of July perhaps August and September of the year 2021. On a spiritual front, those of you who have come from the future, those of you who are hybrids, those of you who have extraterrestrial blood running through your veins and in your DNA, so to speak, you will begin to see indications in the external world that the influx of love into your own hearts is beginning to affect the external indicators on the planet. And we believe that this will be a very heartening and very positive effect. If you connect with those who look at numerology and astrology, you will receive confirmations of these predictions, and you will see a tremendous number of changes taking place by that time. We know that many of you would prefer that these changes would take place more quickly. However, we can only tell you what we foresee to be our truth. We are not saying that you must wait until then to see these indicators, this evidence of the changes taking place on your global planet, but it is to understand that there can be a certain lag time in the process. Nevertheless, we believe that these changes will in fact take place. Humanity has never before needed such an influx of positive energy as it needs now. There is a phrase in the man's mind, it is darkest before the dawn. Believe us, you are experiencing that darkness in this moment, here and now. It is also important to understand that a number of scientific breakthroughs will take place. We predict that by September and October of 2021, a number of breakthroughs promised by the extraterrestrial Syrians will be revealed to humanity through varying researchers and scientists. And as has been predicted earlier, a number of medical breakthroughs will take place, and some of the more serious diseases that have not only claimed lives, but have created massive suffering on your planet. Not only will they be healed, but it is likely that their source will be eradicated, and therefore they will be eradicated. It is to understand that some who are suffering from these maladies at this point in time, if they can survive until that period, the latter quarter of 2021, these breakthroughs will be made available to them, and there will be a continued priority placed upon the health and the welfare of all of humanity. There will also be considerable breakthroughs in the process of creating potable or drinkable water for those who exist in very arid climates. And what was considered the water shortage on the planet Earth will be dealt with in a most effective way. It is important to understand that, again, these breakthroughs will take place primarily in the third quarter and the fourth quarter of the year 2021. We are grateful to each and every one of you for all that you have contributed to the coming events that are going to shift and change the vibrational frequency of the planet Earth. And we hope that this news will continue to reinforce your faith and allow you to move forward into the future with a most positive and optimistic attitude that has not addressed your individual lives, but we would say to you that that outlook is indeed opportunistic, it is optimistic, and it is no less positive. We are grateful for all of your efforts on the planet Earth, We are grateful for your courage to remain in that physical body you inhabit temporarily, and we ask you to continue to flow into the stream of consciousness and to give yourself permission to pay very close attention to the connection to your own soul. We are the one called the Ancient of Days, and we express our gratitude to each and every one of you. So be it. Welcome back. This is Gregory Possiman with the monthly message for November of 2021. And I look forward to the coming year. I look forward to all of the good news that will be brought into each and every one of your lives. And from Sandy and I here in beautiful Todd, North Carolina, we wish you all the best.